Hi, everybody. My name is Bob, the pastor of Restoration Church right here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And it is my privilege to share with you today your Saturday Devo. Well, guys, if those that know me know that I am a huge fan of C.S. Lewis. I love his stuff. I mean, I just really can't get enough of it. And I've been diving into an old book that I actually have never read before. It came on my Amazon Audible account freebie list. I decided to dive into it. Guys, it's awesome. It's called The Pilgrim's Regress. Now, if you're familiar with the classic novel, The Pilgrim's Progress, well, this is kind of the opposite of it. It has this character, his name is John, and it's basically his struggle to really deal with a world that belongs to God. In fact, God it's kind of established as a landlord type of figure. In fact, there's this feudalism in this land called Puritania, and John is struggling to really find his place in this world. Now, that concept of God being a landlord really hit a nerve, because I've spent a lot of time in a landlord situation, except I was the rentee and not the landlord. And I've done that either from real estate, so where we've lived, obviously landlord, to even renting things that don't belong to me but belong to somebody else, whether it's a boat or whether it was a car. But I've spent quite a bit of time there, and I can tell you, if you've ever rented something, there's a lot of strings that come attached to it, right? You gotta fill out an agreement stating that whatever you do with this item, you're going to fix it and return it the way you got it. Case in point, last year, I think it was last year, maybe the year before, my wife had taken a trip down to Ohio State for a game. No, sorry, it wasn't Ohio. It was an Ohio State game, but it was in Indianapolis. And on her way back, she pulls into the gas station and hit one of those little bars as she was backing up with the mirror for the car. Well, we couldn't return the car in the current condition. We had to actually go through and file a claim with our insurance company to fix the car, to make sure that the way we got the car, that's how we were going to return it. Well, it's interesting when you think of God in that perspective. That means that we have a responsibility to really make sure that we treat what he's created right. Interesting, isn't it? It's also interesting when you come to think of it like this, that God's the one that wrote the rules. So that means that God can adjust the rules and make it so that it's the best for the creation, his agenda, his plan, his purpose, right? Because he's the one that's writing this rental agreement. He's the one that's really establishing this. You say, well, Pastor Bob, is this even biblical? Well, actually, in Psalms chapter 24, starting in verse 1, it says this: the earth is the Lord's and everything in it, the whole world and all who live in it. Well, I don't know about you, but that kind of seals the deal, doesn't it? You see, everything that we have here has been created by God. That means that God, by allowing us to be a part of this, has a plan, has a purpose of how our everyday life is supposed to play out. In fact, it's really kind of silly for us to ever say, well, God, you owe us an explanation, or God, why are you doing it like this? Well, the fact of the matter is, God has that authority. He created it. He put everything into motion. And so really, we need to trust him. We need to trust in him in the fact that if he's allowed these things to happen in our life, well, they're happening for a reason. That everything that's going on right now is not outside of God's control, because everything in it belongs to him. He's created everything we see. It's really a powerful concept when you think about it, doesn't it? It should give us some sort of reassurance. It should help boost our faith a little bit to say that, we don't have to worry about what we're facing. We don't have to worry about the storms that are happening in our life. We don't have to worry about the turmoil that maybe is happening within our concept of our jobs or our family or any other relationships that we have, because God still is in control. No matter what we face, we're not facing some foreign entity. We're facing something that God has said, okay, this can happen. Why? Because the earth is the Lord's and everything in it. So I don't know about you today. I don't know if you're kind of overwhelmed by the things that are happening in this world today, or what's going on in your life, and you feel a little consumed by it. In fact, it almost seems like it's taking every thought captive, and it's holding on to it and just locking it up, and you just can't escape from that prison. Well, guys, I want you to pause for a moment And I want you, as you spend your time in prayer here, to say, Lord, help me to understand this. Stop and think of God as being the landlord. Stop and think of God as being the creator of everything, knowing that everything that you see, everything you touch, everything you feel, everything you experience, well, he's got a plan for it. He's got a purpose for it. And that God is in control. Why? Because the earth is the Lord's and everything in it. So remember that today, guys, and be encouraged. I hope to see you tomorrow. It's going to be a great day at church, and see you then. God bless. Bye-bye.